Hey, Daddy, can you take me hunting one day?
I was born in Olympia, Washington. My parents divorced when I was really little, so I didn't grow up near my dad. My mom moved 2,000 miles away to Indiana, and that's what I called home. I would go visit my dad during the summers and over Christmas break. He took me on my first hunt when I was 6 or 7. There's a picture of me in the goose blind, grinning from ear to ear. I laugh every time I see it. Who'd have ever thought that little weasel in the photo would become addicted to the outdoors? I know my dad would also agree with that. I've always just figured it was in my blood, and my sister would hopefully become a hunter one day as well. Waterfowl hunting has always been sort of our thing. We've hunted Montana, Kansas, Washington, Idaho, all over a little bit, killed all kinds of ducks and geese together. No one can take that away from us.
Hey, you killed one first shot.
I know, I'm glad, but When I was really young, I heard the story of my dad killing a black bear with his bow. Now, when you're 5 or 6 and you hear a story, your mind tends to paint this very dramatic picture. I pictured this huge bear drooling and growling, trying to claw up the tree to get to my dad. Of course, he was 20 feet in the air. I pictured my dad shooting him and the bear falling. The scene was just almost heroic. At that moment, I decided I wanted to hunt black bears with a bow. I don't even think he knows that story. 20 years later, I'm finally hunting black bears with a bow in Alberta, so I guess I could say thank you, Dad. This is my 2nd year bear hunting. Last year I went to Quebec, and this year I decided to go somewhere where I knew the black bears were not exactly easier to hunt, but there was just a lot more of them, and they were bigger, and there was just a lot more opportunity, I guess, to hunt them. I did spot and stalk at first, and I also did hunting over bait, and I would definitely say there's challenges to each of those. Hunting over bait is more of a slow process. You have a lot of time to hear the bear and watch it come in and get ready for your shot, but during this time, the process is just so slow that your adrenaline and your emotions are just going crazy. The bears come out of these old logging roads, and they're eating the grass and the clovers and the dandelions on these old roads, and then they'll put out bait pile because they know that there's going to be bears crossing these roads. Hunting over bait, it was just such a slow process that it was very emotional for me. Being around the bears was pretty intense. You don't really know what to expect at first. The first time I ever went bear hunting, and they told me they wanted me to walk out of the woods alone a mile in the dark, I was like, you have to be kidding me, because this is a bear. You know, I've just never hunted around them, so I didn't know, but I know that they're predators, but they're very gentle animals, and they're some of the quietest animals I've ever heard walk in. They're very lazy animals. They come in, they lay down right away. Even though they might see you and they might come investigate you, they just don't really care. We can hear there's a bear in the timber, and we didn't really know if it was a bear or a squirrel, because a lot of squirrels tend to sound like any animal you're hunting at the time. But this bear walked in, and all of a sudden I could see him about 10 yards through the trees, and my heart started to race really, really fast, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't swallow, and I was just getting so nervous. I was like, there he is, that's the bear we're hunting. He came out about 10 yards, and then I would say he walked out of the tree line, walked right in front of me, and stopped and just looked at me. And then it was like he knew we were there, but he didn't really care too much. He was just waiting for us to make a move. Like, he just had a feeling. We kept very still, but when he came in, I was just so nervous. I knew I had to get my shit together because I couldn't stop shaking, and I was like, I can't pull back my bow. I was getting really nervous. But he walked off to the bait, and by the time I had decided I was going to shoot him and we were going to make it happen, he started to walk off. And that was kind of a devastating moment, because I felt for a second that I blew it. I was like, I can't believe I had this bear at 10 yards and now he's behind the bushes at 60 yards and I'm not going to be able to get to him. So we just had to hope he came back. When he finally did, I don't even remember how long it was. It seems like a century later after we saw him, he came back out. He walked up the same path that he went down, and that's when I knew, like, this is it. We have to make it happen. You can't get nervous. You don't have time to calm yourself down. You just need to make it happen. And so he stopped. The first moment he stopped, right when I had a shot opportunity, I didn't even think about it. I just pulled back. Okay, I'm coming down. I can't stop shaking. Holy shit.
Goodness gracious, how did we get here? Seems like somewhere we made a wrong turn. And I wasn't watching, and I couldn't see all the darkness around you and me. Now my eyes are open and my will is strong, and my naive heart has come undone. Oh, I hear a calling like a distant song, and my feet are ready to run.
Get this sucker out of here.
Oh, my darling, there is a pathway. It's not easy, but it is clear.
Without my dad in my life, I wouldn't say that I would ever be a hunter. I don't know if it was completely his influence or if it was me that got into hunting and got into big game hunting, because our thing's always been waterfowl, but I'm the type of person that wants to try everything and become great at everything and harvest all these different animals and experienced all these different things. But the one that meant the most to me that I've had and, as a goal for so long was hunting black bear. So I just want to say thank you to my dad for, in my opinion, raising me right and being a good influence on me and my sister. And nothing in life that I've gone through, I don't regret anything. And I think that's big, because there's a lot of kids who they want to blame other people, and so many people just tell me I'm just so lucky. And I don't look at it like that, because I didn't come from money, and I didn't come from, I wasn't given anything in life. And I was always taught that you had to work for what you had, and that was from my dad. Like, you had to work hard and be humble, and that was always his thing. And that's what I try to do every day, and I think I would make him proud. So I just want to say thank you, Dad, and happy Father's Day. thank you for everything you've done for my sister and I, and hopefully you see this video before Father's Day.